The sun had barely pierced the horizon when Mark wheeled his bike out onto the quiet suburban street. His breath formed small clouds in the crisp morning air, a perfect start to bike-to-work day. Pedaling briskly, he felt an unusual chill graze his spine, dismissing it as mere nerves. Ahead, the road stretched empty and silent, almost too quiet, as shadows danced ominously beneath the streetlights. Mark's confidence wavered slightly. Why did everything feel so strangely unfamiliar?
Have you ever felt unseen eyes watching you in the dark? Welcome to Nightfall Crypt, where shadows whisper, the unknown lingers, and every story is waiting for you to listen, if you dare.
Mark pedaled down Elm Street, the usual route he took by car, feeling bizarrely different on his bike. The houses were dark, curtains tightly drawn. He noticed flickers of movement behind the windows, but shook off the paranoia creeping up his neck. Passing an old oak, Mark heard a sudden rustling in the bushes nearby. Pausing briefly, his eyes darted around nervously. A sudden burst of birds erupted skyward, squawking hysterically as if fleeing danger. Heart racing, Mark resumed his pedaling. Approaching the bridge over Mill Creek, a dense mist gathered inexplicably. Visibility dropped drastically, forcing Mark to slow down. A shadowy figure appeared at the bridge's edge, unmoving, its head tilted awkwardly. Unease bubbled within Mark. "Are you lost?" Mark asked cautiously, approaching the figure. Without warning, the silhouette lunged toward him, vanishing into vapor inches from collision. Terrified, Mark scrambled back onto his bike, pedaling furiously away from the bridge. His relief was short-lived, as the streets twisted unnaturally ahead, disorienting him. The surroundings blurred and reformed, showing streets he had never seen before. Panic surged. He felt trapped within a shifting labyrinth. Suddenly, Mark spotted another cyclist ahead, pedaling slowly, their head bowed. Desperate for company, he called out. But as he drew near, the cyclist turned abruptly. Mark froze, recognizing the rotting face staring emptily back at him. Veering down a side alley, Mark desperately sought an escape. Walls closed in tighter, graffiti morphing into grotesque faces screaming silently. His heartbeat thundered as ghostly whispers filled his ears, mocking and sinister. The alley spat him onto a street lined with abandoned storefronts. Lights flickered wildly, illuminating shadowy figures pressing against windows from within. Mark's grip on reality slipped as he pedaled faster, desperation mounting. A sudden, horrifying sound of chains rattling grew louder behind him. Risking a glance back, Mark saw spectral riders gaining rapidly. Chains dragging, sparks igniting from the asphalt. Their hollow eyes burned with an unnatural hatred. Exhausted, Mark finally recognized his office building looming ahead. Hope surged momentarily, but as he neared, the building's facade crumbled into a grotesque, monstrous form, opening a cavernous mouth to consume him. Mark screamed, desperately swerving. Mark woke, gasping and drenched in sweat, lying sprawled across the roadside, bike tangled nearby. Confused, he rose slowly, examining his surroundings. Everything appeared normal. Commuters passed obliviously. Shaken, he stared at his reflection in a storefront, noticing faint handprints and fearful eyes staring back from behind the glass. Had it truly been a nightmare, or had he narrowly escaped a grim fate?
And so, the shadows stretch further, and the mystery only deepens. But this is far from the end. It's merely the beginning. What lingers beyond the door? Who is whispering your name? And what is that shifting in the corner of your eye? The answers await in the next chapter of these chilling tales. Subscribe to Nightfall Crypt and hit the notification bell, because the crypt's secrets are endless and the darkness never sleeps. Until next time, stay in the light if you can.